You want to hear a story about life in a small town? My life is a story about a small town. It's not all swimming holes and strawberry socials, though. There's a mystery. See if you can solve it. Like all mysteries, it goes in circles. Winter light fades. It's the 4th of July. Ripples from the last day of summer splashes, they pile up in ice houses packed with straw. The straw that kindles the rages of October. Straw, silage, silent in the seed, passed over the counter in the feed store by the clerk who broke my heart. Who broke my heart. I had to come back for the same reason I had to leave. Somebody here knows all my secrets. I can tell it, I can see it in Lila's eyes in the holier-than-thou way. She rips the slip off the register and hands it over without looking at me as though it's a ticket to hell and good riddance. The only thing I ever did was turn out like my grandmother. The year I was 8, I started picturing death like Lila's old man. Poker-faced, buffalo plaid jacket, permit on his back. He jacked a deer that year, gutted it, stretched the cavity with a board to dry. He left the carcass hanging by the antlers in a tree for me to find on my way to school. The only time I ever saw him laugh was when he caught me gagging. Cried myself to sleep that night. Lila should have been happy when he took off. He disappeared. Poof! Ah, that whole church supper crew, they deserve whatever they get. They think they know you better than you know yourself because they knew your relatives first. Oh, I was in school with your grandfather, little girl. Strange he was, I don't mind telling you. Always reading. He borrowed my second best hunting rifle and he lost it, Walt did. Then he stole my girl. Well, on that count, I was better off just the same. Yeah, just the same. Just the same as one boy got drafted and one didn't. Because one senator likes hunting and one guide knows where to squeeze the trigger. Just the same as the library didn't really ban Lady Chatterley's lover. They just kept one copy in the bottom drawer of the clerk's desk so that she could make sure everybody knew who asked for it and got tormented. Just the same as a sour old maid church lady latched onto a wounded young vet, made him depend on her, made him forget that he was as big as the sky on the 4th of July. Just the same, yeah. The only mystery here is a Nancy Drew. Well, I know where there are a few bodies buried myself, or at least where one in particular got taken before the coroner got called to protect the innocent, but especially the guilty. Picture this. Nancy Drew a bubble bath. Cleaning lady could always tell by the ring around the tub next day. Her ladyship bought her unmentionables locally at Abracadabra, get it? Home of White Stag before it got co-opted by Walmart. Well, that night she put on all new lacy ones. My grandmother found the tags in the wastebasket. The last anyone ever saw of her, she dined at Gus's linden tree on venison sauerbraten and Nusstorte. She had nightcaps at the bar and laughed with Gus and pretended to ignore the poker-faced man doing Boilermakers. Gus Jr. has his own gin mill in town now that he's out of the feed store for good, and Lila pretends to dole out more in the mortgage than she wastes on Home Shopping Network. I haven't been there yet, but I imagine it's a place where time runs backwards to the last day of summer before Gramps died, and Graham had to clean other people's houses before a soldier broke my heart. Wine turns into water and clusters of cloudy grapes. Nancy has one last schnapps for the slippery road, and the gutted deer bounds across the river to asylum. The river, it tumbles rocks and secrets to circles. It's clear now why I came back. To ride a ripple, take a tumble. By the river, it's never too late to be what you might have been. Hunter, hunted. Sinner, sinned against. You, me. Switch partners at the barn dance. Just the same. When it's over, I might as well leave for good.